Hey Damien, how are you?
I'm really well. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Welcome to Pop Rock Radio.
Thank you very much.
I tell you what, it's really weird when you sign in, we say hello, how you going, and then we've got to start again. It feels weird the second time round, doesn't it?
It is. It is. It's one of those funny things about media, right? Like everyone that sees the final product just assumes this is the natural event that's happened, but there's usually like 10 minutes of
Yeah.
build up before that, which no one gets to see.
In this case, it's 10 minutes of me forgetting to send the links.
That's real life, though.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm just going to bring up my screens here, so I've got all my notes on it. We spoke. Oh, we had your song "Abuser" on Pop Rock Radio a couple of weeks ago. But you have a new song out. I don't listen to the radio. That's what the picture is on the screen there.
That is, yep. That's the cover for the new one, which is a bit ironic because obviously I do listen to the radio, and we're hoping that people are listening to the radio right now. But I guess for me, I mean, the drive behind that song was kind of making this distinction between, say, like the big commercial kind of juggernaut sort of stuff that just gives you the same old top 40 week in week out. Which that's radio, as opposed to the community kind of stuff, which is more real people just doing daily living, you and I. And for me, that's what I listen to. It's real people in my own community that I can connect with. Yeah,
well, we're doing we have Pop Rock Radio, which is like for mainstream stuff, because that's pretty much what I'm into, and there's a lot of good stuff out there, especially from Australian artists. But we set up, and it's on its second attempt. About a year ago, we set up Pop Rock Nation, which was just Australian music.
Yeah.
And we had no one tune into it. It was like, because you got to listen through the app or through the web player, and no one tuned into it. So it was costing a bit of money, so we just let it go. And then we're doing it again, but we've called it Pop Rock Indie, and what we're doing, we're just putting brand new music out there, and if people listen to it, well, they're going to hear some decent music.
Yeah, yep.
If they don't, we'll just keep adding, because, as they say, build it and they will come. Hopefully.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, it's a really difficult environment, and there's so many, like people like yourself, you're doing really good stuff, just trying to, get the music out, because obviously there is so much good stuff, and it's just difficult because, the people that listen, generally speaking, consumers, and I'm a consumer, right? We're lazy, right? We don't want to go out of our way to try and find something new or do something different. We kind of just want what's thrown in front of us, and it makes it really difficult when the stuff that is just thrown in your face all the time isn't your local Australian artists.
I hate it because there's countries like France that they have high ratios of French music to international music, and if you don't meet them, you either get fined or booted off.
Yeah, yep. They're really protective of their local culture and being able to create a local scene, which we don't seem to be over here.
No, we just give stuff away. The government gives our stuff away.
Yep. Not just our music, but our gas and oil and all sorts of other things too. But we'll leave that for another conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm 100% behind you on everything you just said. They just give it away, because, believe it or not, many years ago, I actually was involved with a political party and ran a couple of times for Senate spots. And people say to me, "Oh, there's no point voting. One vote doesn't count. Blah 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 blah." I'll tell you, I missed out on a Senate spot by one vote.
Wow. So that's gut wrenching.
It is, yeah. Do you know how obviously with the Australian system they have the preferences in the Senate. Yeah, we had all our preferences lined up, and excuse me, we had one vote to the guy above me. When it comes to me being bailed out, there was one guy one vote above me, and if we had been one above him, all our preference deals would have come into play.
Yeah,
it was just one vote that one person.
Unbelievable.
And it was, like you said, it's gut-wrenching, because it's amazing how much, that would have been a Labor or a Liberal person out, and then a minor party in there. And
and it is, and it's just those slow incremental changes that eventually, will make a big difference. And I think that's where, it does get, whether it's music or politics, it can easily, you can easily get disenfranchised and think, oh, this whole system's just broken. It's not going to work. What's the point? But if we keep buying into that mentality, you're right, nothing will get fixed. You've got to buy into that sense that, no, we can do something, because that's the whole point of democracy, right? Is that we're all supposed to have a voice and be able to make that difference.
Yeah, and get involved, especially with like community radio stations and things like that. Now, we don't get all the benefits for being a community radio station because we're on the internet.
Internet radio.
So it makes it a bit harder for us because we get absolutely no help. And that doesn't worry me. We'll plug along and do what we do. But I think I've just lost my train of thought. But it takes everyone to get involved and to share the music. We can't leave, because I saw you're on the ABC article on news the other week talking about Spotify rates and bits and pieces. We've all got to get involved in that. Like when I saw you there and I had your song on before, I thought, I've got to reach out and talk to you about it, because we've all got to band together. It doesn't matter if, like you said, if you're a consumer or a creator. You know, we've got to start banding together.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's something for me as a creator and a consumer, that I try to be really, really intentional. Like, I was really stoked. You know how every year Spotify does that, Spotify rap thing, and it gives you its rundown of this is all the stuff you listen to. Well, my top genres, because I'm based in southeast Queensland, and my top genres for last year were Brisbane indie and Brisbane punk. So the two, like, it was narrowed down to the city that, and I was stoked by that, because that's something that I want to be really intentional about. Is going, I am just going to try and consume more and more from the people that I live around, and I would love to see more artists doing that, because while we're waiting and we're getting frustrated and we're petitioning the government to make changes and give out funding and whatever it might be, as you say, it's doing that little stuff yourself. Like, if you're not willing to yourself try and make a difference, and don't expect somebody else to do it for you. Yeah,
you got to have blood in the game. You got to get out there and do it. Yeah.
Yep.
But because like now I think my Spotify account, I think I got a message the other week saying your Spotify account hasn't been paid and it's getting reverted. I'm like, well, I don't really use it.
yeah, right, exactly.
I go straight on to AMRAP and get the music from there. If it's not there, it's Play MPE or somewhere else. There's someone sending me get about 30 emails a day saying, can you play this, can you play that? And we're like listening to all this great music, and it's like, like you just wish you could play it all, but you just can't. It's unfortunate.
Yep. No, you're definitely at the forefront there, being able to discover what's new before everyone else does.
Oh, well, that's our live reactions. That's how we got your song Abuser on there. We go through the AMRAP chart or AMRAP, and we'll just see what music's been released, and we'll start it at the top, listen to the first 10 seconds, and if it's good, skip ahead. And if the song is still good, it goes onto the list. And basically, the first 10 songs that we find go, because there's sometimes there could be 100, 200 songs. You got to even more than that. You'd go some days there's like 20 or 30, 40 songs just been dumped in a day, and it's like, wow, it's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. But and it's amazing. Like, that made my day when I discovered that you guys are playing this song and you were discussing it, and then you were given a good round. I'm like, but that absolutely. I was sitting there and I messaged Hostile Architect, who also did the remix on it, and I was like, check this out, and he dialed in, and we were stoked. Like,
and I think
stuff like that, it makes a difference. Makes a difference to me.
Yeah, and a few weeks before we had Luke Balkan on, and I think he sent you a message. I'm pretty sure he sent you a message. Because we get in and look at the messages and go, wow, we've actually done something today. You know, some people musicians are talking to each other, and it's like so great. It makes us feel really good as well. But
no, and if it's any consolation too. So then I told my dad about it. Said, there's this show Pop Rock Radio over in Perth, and he went to his workplace and told his work colleagues about it. And one of his work colleagues said, "Oh yeah, I know that show. I've tuned in on that." I'm like,
oh look at that.
So there you go. Yeah, you're rocking the East Coast.
That's great. Yeah, we tried. There's lots of great musicians over there, because we found the East and the West, even though there's a lot of musicians, there's a different. How do I explain it? Different genres go differently over here to over there. But like over here, there's a lot of the punk and the rock scenes going really well, but country's sneaking in as well.
Yeah, okay.
But you get pop music and it struggles. There's a few little venues, but it's struggling. But you go over east and you'll find there's a bit more pop music, but maybe less punk. But like yourself, electronic rock electronic.
Yep.
Is that what you classify your music, electronic rock?
Yeah, I guess. I'd call it electro pop rock or something along those lines. Yeah.
Hey, PopRockers, look what arrived in the post today. These are the PTC Tough On Open Plus Open Ear headphones. If you don't know PTC, they're one of the fastest growing brands in Australia with over 80 stores in major shopping centres across the land. PTC stands for Phone, Tech and Comms, and they have sent us some of these awesome Tough On Open Ear headphones to try out. The first thing I liked was the packaging. A box that the product fits in with no excess packaging for waste. Next were the easy-to-read instructions. Again, no over-the-top booklet, just straight to the point to get you up and running as quickly as possible. Also in the box, a charging lead and a well-constructed charging case. The 4 lights on the front tell me it's good to go and ready to sync. So let's go. Simply head to the Bluetooth settings on your phone and pair the device. It is really that simple. The first time putting them on was a bit weird, especially because I'm used to having earbuds in my ears. And unlike earbuds, I can still hear everything around me while having the music at a great volume. It took a second to get used to them and how they sit on your ear, but after a minute or two, you didn't realise they were there except for the tunes. Everything is easy to operate. Turn on, press the button on either side of the ears for a couple of seconds, and they say they are turning on, and they'll tell you when connected. To turn off, just hold both ears for 3 seconds. Answering calls is simple. Press one ear anytime. Same for hanging up. The only issue I found, I couldn't find a volume control. One last thing to be aware of, the touch sensitivity is pretty fine. You can get 9 hours of playtime and up to 45 hours with a charging case, so it has a good battery life. I've been wearing these open ear headphones for most of the day, and at one stage I forgot I had earphones on because they didn't start irritating my ears that in-ear earbuds cause. Another great plus, because you can still hear what's happening around you, you can still hear people talking to you and engage in conversation. So if you have kids who can't hear you because they have earbuds in, give them a set of these and that issue is no longer exist. Now, if you pair the open ear headphones with the free Pop Rock Radio app, you can listen to the best music mix around. Everything from mainstream to indie pop and rock. And the best country channel, Pop Rock Country, with 100% Australian indie country and folk music. If you're looking for a great gift or one for set for yourself, the link is in the description. We'd like to thank you, PTC, for supporting Pop Rock Radio and this video. Cheers. No, it's great. So what happened? I don't listen to the radio because that's your latest one. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
How do you come up with the songs? How do you create them? Talk us through your creation process.
Yeah, it usually will start with either a great lyric or a line, like I think it did for me with this one. I think that line just, and it was that realization of going, all my friends are great musicians, and this is where, so this whole idea, I don't listen to the radio, I get my music from my friends. I'm like, that's a line. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
So I'll either start with a line like that, or I'll start with the bass line, because for me, that's something that I guess as an electro artist, you kind of learn to realize your bass line's everything. Like that's what gets people kind of moving and whatever. So I'll either come up with a really great bass line or a really great lyric hook, and then kind of build from there. So then I start then thinking about beats and drums and that sort of stuff, and then fleshing that out a bit more, and then trying to work out what synths and sounds I want to put on top of that, and then usually I'll get all that done, and then I'll go back to actually start fleshing out some of the verses and things like that as well. So often it'll be a hook line first, then the music comes in, and then I'll flesh out the lyrics for the rest of the song.
Yeah. Do you have any any superstitions or anything? You got to sit down, you got to have everything lined out right, or do you just get in there and
I just get in there and give it a And a lot of the times I got no idea what I want the fight. Like I don't have an expectation what the final product's going to sound like. It's almost like, you know what, I've got this line. Let's see what it turns out to be, and just go with that. And something like, that sounds cool. Yeah, we'll do that. And then that's cool. Yeah, let's keep that. Yeah.
How do you do your electronic music? Is it all through say like a keyboard, or is it? Or do you
yeah. So basically, in fact, I'm going to see if I can hold this up into the camera here. We can see it. Oh, there we go. I've got a little Akai.
And just MIDI controller.
MIDI controller there that I'll just, plugs into Pro Tools and whatever, and I'll kind of just go, okay, I want piano or synth or whatever, and I'll download the plugin, and I'll play along on the MIDI controller and do that. Bass and guitar and stuff I play myself. I do have a drum kit, but it's too hard to record, so I just usually use electronic drums and stuff as well.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, so, all right. Do you have any, we've just talked about your processes. Lyrically, how do you? What drives it? What drives your lyrics?
A whole bunch of different things, and I think this really shows in the kind of eclectic nature of my music, because some of it's quite dark and serious, and other it's kind of a bit more just playful and mindless, and I think that's reflective of just who I am as a person, because I mean we're all multi-dimensional beings that have different emotions and whatever, but I feel things really passionately. So if I'm feeling really, like I am quite opinionated, I suppose, and that's often what will drive it, is having a strong feeling or opinion towards something. And sometimes it'll be lighter, sometimes it'll be darker, but usually it's coming from a real place of that means something to me.
Yeah, because I'm just looking on your website now. Do you have a merch store? There's no merch store. Oh, yeah, there is store. There's store. Yep. Look at that. STORE, store. So just for everyone who's watching, the QR code on the screen will take you to Damien Creates. And on Damien Creates, you can go see what shows he has. You can go to the store. So make sure you spell store correctly, STORE, and get there. It's got all the social media and things. But it's also got other projects. So you got, heaps of stuff happening.
Yeah. Again, because I mean, even what I'm saying before about having that multi-dimensional sense of the Damien project lyrically, and the songs change a bit.
Yep.
Even that's not broad enough to cover everything. I kind of, so I've got a country music project, and we're about to drop the first single for that in a couple of weeks. I've got a punk band that it's just a couple of shows, so it's all happening. It's good fun.
Oh yeah. When do you get time to sleep? Because you also have your day job that you've got to.
It's pretty full on. I mean, I was talking to ABC the other day, and they're like, "What's your schedule like?" And I'm like, I sleep with a guitar next to my bed, so I'll wake up in the morning and I'll just pick up that and I'll practice for a good half an hour, make a coffee or whatever, and then I'll go to work, and then I'll come home and again just practice and songwrite for a few hours. I'm probably don't tell my mum this, I'm probably a bit malnourished. I'm just eating cornflakes out of a box, sort of. Not all the time. But it's funny, like that sort of stuff, like, the stuff that's probably important, like cooking and cleaning and things, all of that sits on the back burner to when I got time, I'll get round to doing that.
I ran out of Fruit Loops and had to go onto the Wheat Bix. I was like, no.
Exactly.
But people don't understand it. When you're creative and you get into that swing of things, and from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, if you get to sleep, you're doing something. Your mind's going crazy, and
exactly.
Yeah, because I look at what we do, and I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, or between 4 and 4:30, depending if I can get out of bed, and then I go get up, do my day job.
Yep.
I'm lucky I can start early and finish early, so then I'm normally back home 3:30 ish, and then from that time, I'm prepping for an interview. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are all interviews and podcasts.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you've got to maintain all your websites and everything else. Yeah. Social presence. And try and have a social life. It's just crazy.
It is crazy, and you do find you sacrifice some things, like some things that are really important to other people, like the idea of having the wife and kids and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, you know what, that's just not where I'm at. I've got these other things now, so trying to pursue that sort of thing. I am a single dad, so I do have a daughter, but that kind of stuff. Look, that's I'll put that a dream aside because it's not really what I'm looking for, and I'm really obsessed with this. But because you probably find too in radio, like everything in your mind is just content, right? Well, that could be content. That could be content. It's just non-stop. Yeah. As
you'll meet Tom on Sunday, and Tom come to me, I don't know, about 12 months ago, and he was in community radio, but Tom's got cerebral palsy.
Right.
And so when the community radio station, I think they changed location or something, and they made it hard for him to get in. And he was struggling because obviously with cerebral palsy, you struggle trying to do all the controls. I hope he doesn't mind me explaining this, but and he reached out to me and said, I like what you're doing. Is there any way I can help out?
Yeah.
And so I sent him a message back saying, hey, mate, everything I do is online and through webs and web apps and bits and pieces. And now he gets in there, and because he only has Audacity and things like that, he'll get into Audacity and mix his own radio shows. And
that's great.
Put them to air. He has his own website up and running now, and he's reaching out to artists and doing interviews and things where 12 months ago, or just over 12 months ago, he was struggling to get into community radio. They even just life was not easy for him. And now, you'll meet him on Sunday. He's loving doing what he's doing and sharing.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, so it's great.
Well, that's one of the great things about technology, right? Is it just makes it accessible for everybody to be able to, at least have the opportunity to give it a go.
Yeah. With the technology, what do you think about AI?
Look, mixed feelings. I think on one hand, it probably sounds a bit pessimistic, but I think it's inevitable that that's probably going to take over a fair bit of the music production side of stuff, particularly the commercial aspect, because in a corporate environment, people are always looking, well, how can I get the most amount of product for the least amount of cost and that sort of stuff. And so major record labels or Spotify or whatever can make more money just generating music out of an algorithm. Of course, they'll do that. That's business.
Well, we did it. We did it. We had to do it because. Look, I wanted to get an intro for our shows before we play and just have a bit of music going. But we're always getting hit with copyright infringements when we play music, so we've got to go and try and explain ourselves. And 9 times out of 10, it's okay, but it delays. Delays the process. Oh, I'm losing my voice. It delays the process. So I went and just what's this AI stuff all about? Got on Suno, and then. Within 5 minutes, I had a track. It's not the best track, but I had a full track there. I was like, wow, this is...
I mean, it's amazing what can be done. I know people now will shake their head and go, oh, it doesn't sound like a real human or whatever, but it's something in its early days. Give it another year or two, and I imagine that there will be AI songs in the top 40 chart. Like I kind of laugh because I think in years to come, the covers bands that are playing the songs in the pubs will be playing songs written by computers.
Yeah.
And so, I try not to be, I think I'm being pretty realistic about it. But for me as the artist, like the joy, for me, it's not the final product. Like I'm not so much interested in, I want to make $1 million or I'm so dirty because AI is stealing my job or whatever. AI can't take away from me the joy that comes from making music.
Yeah.
So if I get enjoyment from making the music and performing the music, then that's what I want to do. Like that's the goal, is the enjoyment from doing the thing, not actually the
AI cannot go do a live performance.
Yep, exactly.
So unless you've got a DJ who mixes nothing but AI music, but then you're not really going to see a live performance, are you? You're going to see a DJ.
Yep, exactly.
So on the ABC, people might not know, or hopefully they did tune in or did read it. The conversation was around payments for bands, musicians, and bits and pieces.
Yes.
I was a bit shocked because I've seen a few people, they're saying that they should have a minimum set rate of about 250, but you didn't fully agree with that.
I'm not a fan, to be honest. I'm really not a fan of that. I mean, unless someone can show me how that's being funded, I just don't see. I mean, I don't think it's fair for the government, for musicians to say, oh, we want to get money from making music, so the government just hands them free money. Like, well, if that's the case, let's do it for everybody. Let's create a universal basic income, so everybody.
I'm for that. I'm for that one as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for that. Yeah. But if it's just the musicians and artists, just because it's tough to try and make it, well, that's bad luck. Yeah. Like I don't think. And I know this sounds controversial for artists and stuff, but I don't think the universe owes you a living just because you enjoy doing something or you're good at it.
Yeah. Or bad at it.
Or bad at it, right? Exactly. And that's the other thing. You get a lot of artists that are just bad but hope to get paid for it for,
Yeah.
I often get, no, I probably shouldn't say it. I don't know how family friendly we're here. But
go for it.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I kind of compare it to like sex work, right? Like there's a lot of people out there that get paid to have sex, but there's a lot of people that have sex for free. And, and we're like, it doesn't make the sex any better or worse necessarily just because you're paying for it, but some people just enjoy it and some people, are shit at it. But anyway.
And the sex workers didn't complain when OnlyFans come out.
That's probably more so my point. You don't see sex workers getting dirty because the rest of us do it for enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think artists probably need to be a bit more realistic about that. But I guess my other issue is, like, if it's being funded, like if the expectation comes on venues to be the ones that are paying for the artists, well, the venues can't afford it.
Nah, not at all.
Small venues relying on bands to bring friends in, whatever, to be able to sell drinks and whatever. You've got a band that rocks up, only brings their partners or their mum. he then drinks nothing and then walks away for $250 from the venue will be bankrupt within a week.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's right either. So for me personally, I think the solution's got to be about creating more of a demand. Like, I think if we can create the demand in people by getting more music into the ears of the average Australian, getting the person that's just sitting on the couch to be, suddenly hit with Australia, that will eventually, I guess, it'll translate to them spending money on live music. And that's how an economy works. Like, you've got to create the demand for something.
Yeah, and I think it's changing in Sydney and New South Wales now. The councils are starting to change their laws about venues and making it more relaxed, so that I think they've got a minister, they call it night economy minister.
Yep.
And there's a whole economy that people don't realise that after dark or after a certain time, there's a whole new economy that it opens up, like bars, restaurants, musicians, live acts. And, when they put so much red tape, all that gets choked and dies off.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that they're starting to now see this and go, okay, we're going to start retracting some of make the laws a bit easier.
Yeah, and I think that's more important. Like, looking at the big picture policy and going, okay, well, what are some of the hang-ups that make it really expensive for venues to operate, that they can't pass on more profit to artists and stuff like that, so we can reduce the insurance, or can we reduce that? Can we change the alcohol taxes? All that kind of stuff. I think looking at that big picture is going to be the sustainable solution, rather than just throwing $250 to every artist every time they perform.
Yeah, well, we had a heap of venues over here in WA closed down because of insurance costs. And I'm like, no way. How can insurance, just in COVID, how can insurance costs go up that much that it closes venues down? Because on Monday nights, I have another podcast with some friends, and there's 4 of us, and 3 of us used to be DJs in the local area here, and one of them is a brewer who's up north. But we often talk about how it was back in the day and compare it to now, and I'm like, I don't know how any venue, we couldn't do today what we did a few years ago. And it's crazy, you can't give away free drinks and you're responsible service of alcohol. You can't do this, you can't do that, and it's absolutely crazy. But is that society, or is that the venues?
I think that is, it's definitely like Australian culture in particular, our society. We seem very risk averse, which is really funny, because we always talk about Aussies are so laid back and she'll be right, but that doesn't seem to translate in our policies. Everything seems to be about, if a one, let's say one person out of a million people falls down the stairs at a particular venue, within a week, that venue is going to have restructured everything just to prevent that from ever happening, even though it's a 1 in a 1 million chance of happening, and I think that's
it's crazy.
Yeah, I do think it is. I think we need to be a bit more realistic about the fact that, bad things will happen, but we don't have to try and prevent all of them. We just
Because I remember growing up in the 80s, and everyone would say it was the lucky country before the interest rates went up to 19% or whatever it was, but everyone got through that. And then in the 90s and the 2000s, it was when in the late 90s, people used to go out and have fun. Yeah. They have a drink, and you could go out any night of the week and find a place to go to. Now it's Thursday, if you're lucky, Friday and Saturday nights, and that's it. Yep. And they've got to be closed by a certain time, because they might annoy someone down the road with a bit of noise. Now, if you know that noise is there, if you know there's a hotel there and they've got venues there, why move next door? Yeah, exactly. But I think we're destroying our culture and our entertainment. I think so. I don't know if you've ever been to New Zealand. One of the things I remember most about going to New Zealand, I went to Queenstown, right? And they've got this thing there, they call it the luge. And basically it's like a gravity-driven, like a billy cart track, right? And what you do is you get on a chairlift and you go to the top of the mountain, you hop in your billy cart and you fly all the way down. And these things get up some speed. But what struck me was that when you get in the chairlift to go up, nobody checks the belt. It's literally a seatbelt that you can just pull off halfway through and jump off if you want. You get to the top and there's no... there's no signage, there's no safety equipment or anything. I'm like,
this is nuts. You'd never pull this off in Australia because we'd be like, oh, no, there's so many problems that could go wrong. And it'd be you'd have to sign all these waivers and everything. Whereas New Zealand's like, hey, if you're dumb enough to give it a go, that's on you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I am.
There's the old Darwin Awards.
Yeah.
We should do something like that with, venues and things, and people going to venues. Just line up all the dumb ones. Find somewhere that we don't like and just go, yeah, go in there, go in there. Yeah. So back to your music. Obviously, this is what we got you to chat about. Has it been picked up by many stations?
It has. It's in ebbs and flows. Like I've noticed, some stuff you randomly get played at, like, I don't know, stations in Mexico and Germany and whatever. You're like, okay, that's cool. I guess locally, like here in Southeast Queensland, there's a big community station called 4ZZZ, and they've been really supportive of my stuff and played a fair bit. It's been picked up, by a couple of stations down south, like Sydney and Melbourne, and things. But the new one's only just starting to take off, so it's only probably been played about 3 or 4 different stations at the moment, and hopefully get a bit more traction over the coming weeks.
Yeah, yep. What do you prefer? Do you prefer your music being played on Spotify or on the radio?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I probably don't have a preference. I just want, I just enjoy it if someone's listening. It doesn't matter how they're listening to it. Again, I'm not too worried about the royalties or that sort of stuff. I just like the fact that somebody out there is listening to my song, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right, what's coming up next for you?
Got a few shows locally for the rest of the year, pretty booked out. Again, just Southeast Queensland kind of stuff. So it'll keep me busy. Got a few other singles in the can that is waiting to release. I mean, as I say, one of my other projects, got this country project. I put on a completely different persona, and I call myself Damien J. Johnson. I've got a song coming out in about 2 weeks' time, August 30. But at the moment, it's just a matter of, plugging the current single, and we'll see how that goes, and we'll make a plan to release the next one probably early next year, I think. Yeah,
so I'm just looking at your picture on the screen where you are now. You're obviously dressed like a producer, DJ, electronic artist. Then I'm looking at your picture here, Damien J. Johnson, the folk country singer, and I'm trying to nah. And then obviously Britney's Diary, which is below, there's no pictures there, and I'm thinking, if that's a punk band.
Yeah, it's probably more grunge than punk, but
I reckon it's great.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, it's good. So anyway, the guys and girls can get on the QR code. That'll take you to the website, and that's got all your socials and that on there as well. Nice and busy. Any more ABC interviews lined up?
No, not at the moment, but I haven't been looking for any. That was completely out of the blue. Actually, they contacted me because I'd put a submission into the federal Senate inquiry into the state of live music at the moment, and that's where ABC got my details from and hit me up from there. So,
how did that go for you? How did that go at all?
It's still underway. Like the Senate's still, I guess, mulling over what it is they want to do policy wise and how they're going to try and revive live music, and politics probably takes them months, years before we see any sort of
and
there's a lot of industry. The
federal government's not going to have much control over the state governments.
That's an issue too.
And then you've got your state councils.
Yep.
And they're going to go no. And there's so much red tape, so many jurisdictions and bits and pieces you've got to go through. Until that fixes up, we've always got radio and the internet.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, no, so it's good. We're going to have you on Sunday night on the weekly wrap. We'll get your
Looking forward to it.
Get your opinion on some of the music that's coming out. We'll pick some that maybe not quite your genre, so you'll have to.
Yeah, great.
There's no genres left. You've got them all.
Yeah, no, I was going to say. Anything I don't like of is probably metal, but even then you'll find a headspace where we go, I need metal right now. So there's not much I don't listen to.
Yeah, well, I found there's a few. This is going to really throw people. Screamo tracks.
Okay.
And I just get right into them. It's like, it's crazy. You get some songs, you hear them, and then the next thing you know, they're screaming, and most people get it and turn it off, but there's some really good Screamo stuff out there.
Yep.
And do you know Kate Miller-Heidke?
Yeah. Yep.
The Last Day on Earth?
Yes.
Yep. The TV show, The Last King of the Cross, that was out about a year ago. They used that song as part of the promos and bits and pieces for that show. and it got remixed, and it has a guy doing screamo in it, and they've really edged it up, and it sounds amazing.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing.
She's a judge on The Voice or something this year, isn't she? Kate Miller.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yep. Eurovision.
Yeah.
Yep. See, she's from your area in Queensland, isn't she?
Oh, she is just down the road somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people in Queensland. We had we've spoken to in Queensland, Bachelor Girl. I think they're in Queensland, but I think they've gone out country-wise. Yeah, we're speaking to heaps. So we're actually heading there in November.
Okay.
We're going to see Pearl Jam.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, that'll be a good show.
So, yeah, we're going to hopefully get out and about and catch up with a few of the people that we've spoken to and say, hey, meet you face-to-face and come to a show.
Well, if you're around, hit me up. We'll go get coffee or something.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. All righty. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm not going to take too much more of your time. Thanks heaps for taking your time out of your day, your evening, and I know you're busy. And I look forward to seeing you. Yeah, look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
See ya.